AM 560. The Answer.
They don't understand. You're morons. You're speed bumps. Human speed bumps. Every municipality, every city, every county, every state, the Democrats are in charge of are riddled in scandal and fraud and misappropriation. And the reason is you're frauds. Every single one of you. Here is the highest economic advisor. The highest economic advisor to the dimwit in diapers some call Joe Biden.
Like you said, they print the dollars. So why does the government even borrow?
Well, again, some of this stuff gets, some of the language that some of the language and concepts are just confusing. I mean, the government definitely prints money, and it definitely lends that money, which is why the government definitely prints money, and then it lends that money by selling bonds. Is that what they do? They sell bonds. Yeah, they sell bonds, right? Because they sell bonds and people buy the bonds and lend them the money.
Did you vote for that? You don't matter. If you voted for that, you do not matter. Did you vote for Obama? Here's his guy, Larry Summers. He's the trois in Menage a Trois with Epstein. Those two lemon heads, those two fish-face pedophile scum. Banging underage, I think, women, but I'm not willing to bet on it. Larry Summers, take it away, scumbag.
But let's listen to what former Obama Treasury Secretary Larry Summers blames inflation on.
I think the banana Republicans who are saying that what happened on January 6th was nothing or okay are undermining the basic credibility of our country's institutions. And that, in turn, feeds through for inflation. Because if you can't trust the country's government, why should you trust its money?
Not the $9 trillion Joe Biden added to just debt that we admit to. That's Larry Summers. Did you vote for that, David? Then you don't matter. Here, did you vote for this?
When Michelle and I first imagined the Obama Presidential Center, we wanted it to be more than a building.
We wanted it to be a scam. Did you know they're hiring people? By the way, I figured out what that looks like. It looks like Godzilla's butt plug. That's what it looks like.
We wanted it to be a living, breathing testament to what's possible when a community comes together. A place that reflects the heart, the spirit, and the pride of the South Side of Chicago.
Mission accomplished. By the way, your wife's ugly. Miles, Western Suburbs.
Hey, Sean, I looked it up for you. The last time the federal government actually passed a budget, it was Bill Clinton and Newt Gingrich. And every time since then, it's been continuing resolution and cost plus, 3% plus. Under Obama, they had a government shutdown, and the Republicans and Obama agreed to a sequester, which flattened the spending. Which, the funny thing is, I'm older than you. That's the only time in my lifetime that there has been a flattening of spending from the federal government. And the Republicans, Peter Roskam and the rest of them, were so anxious. As soon as they got the sequester, they bragged about it on the talk shows with Don and Roma, and then they're immediately trying to get rid of it because it cut into the military-industrial social service complex that Eisenhower warned us about.
So, Miles, it's funny because that's their only job. Their job is to only balance the budget, balance the money. That's their primary existence in Congress, their primary existence. And yet, since 1994, right? 1994 is the last time they did it. And, this is the admission, not just of failure, of what I believe is a financial crime. And when you have Jared Bernstein come on and talk about what is monetizing debt, first of all, we accept that phrase. Two words put together that mean nothing other than the fact you do not want to tell the people or explain when you create a buyer for a bond, why should anybody, especially society, pay anything for that bond? Who gets the money? Who gets the money? When you fictitiously crack a lie and say, we've got a buyer for a bond, and you don't. And yet we, the people, pay interest. To whom? I've asked some of the smartest people in economics, highest people running for office, people in office, who makes the money when you fake a buyer? It is a con job. It's a 3-card Monte, and the answer is they do. And when I say they, the 535 whores in government, the Federal Reserve and their assets, the 8 bureaucrat morons, all steal the interest. And you're talking interest on trillions. And what are you talking about? 3%, 2%? It doesn't matter. What's 1% on $1 trillion? And who's in charge of the money? These imbeciles who admittedly can't do their job we elect them to do. It is the greatest financial crime in world history.
Don't worry, Sean, because BlackRock and Fink are going to rebuild Ukraine.
Oh,
So
sure, that's going to be.
Corruption is all going to go by the wayside.
Here's what I think, and I would be willing to bet on this. I think Larry Fink looks prettier in a miniskirt than Penny Pritzker does. That's the only difference to me. Scumbags won the same. Thank you very much, Miles. Miles. Never thought I'd get to comment on Larry Fink in a miniskirt, but there you have it. George in Naperville.
Yeah, Sean, what do you think about Lori Lightfoot going undercover as a child actor to try to uncover fraud in Minnesota daycare?
I think she's a lot more qualified for that than she was for Dalton. A lot more qualified for that than overseeing the Dalton crime. But when you look at Democrats, who are they? I mean, really, who are they? Aside from just repulsive-looking people. They're communists. You remember the girl C. Weaver. By the way, her name is C-E-A. Tell me your mother wasn't in a rush. Did she ever tell you who she thought your dad was?
I think the reality is that for centuries we've really treated property as an individualized good and not a collective good, and we are going to transitioning to treating it as a collective good. And
what was her penalty for that communism? Espoused. She is now the head of the tenant relations for the once great city, now laughingstock, New York City.
We should really look to what Brandon Johnson and as well as the Chicago Teachers Union is doing to really use the schools and the city as sites of resistance against the federal incursion. If you're comfortable in your cool.
Still humming when she talks, still doesn't have an upper lip. Impossible to put lipstick on that face, isn't it? Not since Lisa Madigan have I seen such unkissable lips on an ugly woman. Here she is, bragging about how you should follow the Chicago way. Go ahead.
Coalition, you're not winning power. If ICE and the National Guard are coming to New York City, ICE is already here. If the National Guard is coming on January 1st, which we know they are, we really have to use our tenant associations and our parent-teacher associations and our public schools as like networks of defense in support of Strahan's agenda. And
that's a government called for, a government sponsored, a government financed insurrection in the country. Right there. The cities have been sacked by the Revolutionary Communist International Mafia. Sacked. And when they're not promoting overthrowing their own government, they're just simply stealing. Just pick one. You want to pick one? Let's pick the West Coast squirrel. Let's pick Seattle.
Federal prosecutors are expanding the case against a Kent family accused of trafficking fentanyl across western Washington. Thanks for joining us here at 11. I'm Preston Phillips. The group is linked to a former nonprofit director who was given taxpayer money to prevent violence in Seattle. And said prosecutors say she and her family were distributing deadly fentanyl in huge quantities for years.
So it's not just the violence protection scumbags in Chicago. You're giving drug dealers jobs and pretending they're violence interrupters. They're just drug dealers.
My name is Marty Jackson. I'm the Southeast Network Executive Director at the Boys and Girls Clubs of King County.
Marty Jackson was trusted by Seattle leaders. She routinely appeared on TV as her organization, the Southeast Network, won lucrative contracts to provide violence interruption in Seattle schools.
Part of these connections help us to build this safety net that allow for kids not to fall through the cracks or to feel outcasted in their communities.
She also provided community safe spaces, one of which was the target of a mass shooting in 2023.
The overwhelming response we got from the community,
that's not the best
especially
part,
from our
squirrel.
young people,
just the
asking us and telling us you have to go back, you have to get back in space.
But federal charges allege she was laundering money on behalf of her son, Marquise Jackson, and her husband, Mandel, who prosecutors say were the leaders of a nationwide fentanyl trafficking ring. Now, investigators have charged 23 people as part of the conspiracy, and after a year and a half, behalf, the first defendant, Michael Young, has pleaded guilty and was sentenced to 7 years in prison.
7 years. Running a scam through nonprofits, grants, fraud, and dealing drugs to kids. You get 7 years? Kill that son of a dog! Jim, Crown Point.
Hey, Paisano, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Thank you, sir. I was just calling because of the whole discussion on AI and the economy and how there really shouldn't be any inflation. If we are able to determine what the economy is, you just adjust the money supply month to month or even minute to minute with AI.
AI is an interesting possibility of what could be. And I do not believe, like I was talking to my friend Scott, I do not believe it will ever be relinquished or used in the way in which it's promised to our country. And I think that what you're seeing is the AI bubble. And the very simple reason is government, from the smallest form in the municipalities to the biggest in Washington, D.C., our Congress and the Senate, can never allow an artificial, uncorruptible intelligence to ever look at government. It can never happen. It can never happen.
They can't allow intelligence to interrupt
exactly.
them, you know?
Exactly. And when when you see what has been exposed, when you see what, Doge, the greatest scandal, I think, of all is that they're running this all out of one account. There's one account.
Yes.
One account, you stupid son of a dog. One account. It's a fracking fraud. Social Security and the rest of it. All a giant fraud.
This is all a scam. I mean, we got people that's getting ready to retire that's going to try to live off $2,000 to $3,000. Impossible. It's impossible. Because what happens, it comes up here, we spend it. We're $35 trillion in debt. We don't have any money. We're dead broke. And then taxpayers have $2 trillion in credit card debt. We are in huge trouble.
Yeah, you are. Now do something about it, dummies. 312-642-5600.
This is the Sean Thompson Show on AM 560. The Answer.